Well, hello there, and welcome to the Concealed Taco Dudes podcast, episode 153. No applause, no applause. Hold that till
Hold
later.
your applause till the end of
Yes,
the show.
please. We ask that you refrain from that. But welcome, everybody, once again for the pre-Christmas episode.
Yeah.
Where we talk about the best gifts to give to that gun guy or gun gal.
Or just what we figured out on the way down here to do the podcast.
Stan, ill prepared.
No, I've been contemplating ever since I got the email on it today. Or was it yesterday? You know, you
It
said it,
was
this
like
morning.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yes. I've been
All right.
ruminating ever since I got the text. It was a text.
It was a text, actually. Yeah.
So today we have me, Taco,
Jason with Concealment Solutions.
And I'm Grandpa Stan,
Santa Claus.
Santa
the
Claus.
Santa Claus, working on the Santa beard.
It's
right
very
now.
fine. I'm a little jealous.
He's very,
Right.
You've got better color in your beard.
yeah, Snow White.
I dye it.
Whitish.
It's very nice and evenly colored. Mine's too salt and peppery still.
It's dyed. It's the newest thing. You get it. I think it's L'Oreal the gray.
Oh.
Yeah, or actually L'Oreal white. It's more.
The gray man.
Yes.
You want to become the real gray man.
I'm actually a redhead, but I've selected gray for now.
Excellent. Well, it looks fantastic.
Well, why? Thank you. Why? Thank you, Jason.
Yeah. Let's jump into some sponsors.
All right. Ready, go.
NOEBulletMolds.com. Use coupon code FLT001 and it'll save you 10%. We are currently in the NOE
studio.
Yeah.
Big old sign outside, neon. Well, it's a jumbotron.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're broadcasting it live right now. People could sit outside and watch us on the jumbotron.
On the stadium seating we have on the other side of the street.
In fact,
just across from the homeless shelter.
Homeless shelter.
well, and the Powder River manufacturing plant. You know.
Yeah.
But come on down to NOE Bullet Molds.
You could pick up some powder while you're here.
Yes. Shh.
If Stan doesn't take it all.
No,
home
I
when we
can't. I
leave.
can't afford it all. But he has a great selection. Al has a great selection out there. Go to the website, bulletmolds.com, right?
Yep. And if you're local, it's an
yeah.
option. He doesn't ship
He won't
the powder.
ship the powder.
So it's a favor he does for the local people.
Yeah.
Local reloaders.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it's kind of a pretty well kept secret.
Yeah. With the coupon code, taking that 10% off, it helps. Like,
Yeah.
the cost of powders have gone way up lately. So
I don't know if you've heard, but there's a little bit of inflation going on. That's
yeah.
Well, Russia invaded Ukraine, so that's why the powder is so expensive.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
why eggs cost.
And everything else.
Eggs have cost
I know.
gone up in price.
Wife was just talking about that. 2 dozen at Costco is like what, $10 for? It's
Wow.
outrageous.
Yeah, it is
It's
crazy.
because there's a bird flu going around that's killed off a whole bunch of the chickens.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That as well. Anyway, what was the coupon code again?
FLT001.
There you go.
Best bullet molds in the universe.
Yes.
He's got brass out there too, and he has Dylan and Lee reloading supplies and.
Yeah, are you going to get
presses.
that last 750?
We'll discuss that later.
Yes, you should.
Because my wife might be listening. She listens all the time.
Does she listen?
Oh, she's my biggest fan.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Anyway, go ahead.
Also, Utah Air Guns at utahairguns.com. Go check them out. I love my air guns, as I think we all do. At least those of us who have air guns in
I
this
wish I could
room.
afford an air gun.
Dude, they have the one for you. It's $1,200. It's a Crown with a steel tank. You should get it.
Okay, I will.
Like, that's the one to get, Stan.
That's what I'll get.
That is a deal.
I might trade
actually-
some of this stuff
Oh, yeah.
for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a new FX. I can't remember what it's
a
called.
slug
a-
rifle. isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah. They have the air tank coming on from the back.
From the
The
back.
stock.
Kinda like
just like the little Ed gun.
Yeah,
Lacey
exactly.
2.
It looks pretty slick. It ain't cheap,
It
but
definitely
it looks
ain't
pretty
cheap.
slick.
Now, has inflation hit air guns as well?
Yes.
It's hit everything. It's hit everything.
It's because
But-
everything has to move.
Yeah.
With fossil fuels, you idiots.
Yeah. No kidding.
And not our listeners. I was talking about the current administration.
Well, didn't you hear that they're starting to ship everything with electronic planes?
No.
Yeah, no.
Really?
No,
gosh.
wait. They put solar panels on the wings.
So it's
And so
free.
they-
It's virtually
so
free.
They fly for free.
Mm-hmm. And the manufacturer of the solar panels does not create any extra pollution or anything.
Yeah, they don't have to mine all those precious ores for batteries
For those.
deep down in the earth and
Yeah.
destroy all the land all around it
Yeah.
to get those batteries that wear out in like 5 years.
Well, I'm in. Sign
That
me
So-
up.
become toxic waste.
Yeah.
Going back to air guns from
Toxic waste.
toxic waste and electric powered
Use
aircraft.
the code AirCandy when you check out on UtahAirguns.com, and you'll get free shipping and free turret stickers.
Yeah, that'll help you save a few bucks.
Turret
Stickers.
Turret
Turret
stickers.
stickers.
Not turd stickers.
Turds.
I heard turd
know?
stickers.
How do you know?
That's what
Stan?
I heard. Well, you've.
They might be turd stickers.
I know. That's what I heard.
So mark
Play it back. It
so
might have been-
somebody doesn't step in it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, jeez.
That's what I heard. I'm like, Jason, you can't say that.
All right, Concealment Solutions.
Okay.
Today, I walked in sporting my new Concealment Solutions holster.
Yeah.
It
Nice
has
Cobra.
It's a Cobra outside the waistband.
The black flag Kydex.
And what gun is inside that?
that would be a PSA dagger.
The dagger.
The dagger.
Yes.
You told me you weren't going to make any of those for anyone else but me, Jason.
I haven't made one of those for you.
Yes, you got. Well, not a Cobra. Out of that same black flag.
Oh, really?
That's,
Yeah.
That's. By the way, you guys got to see it. That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's
I-
beautiful.
It's
I
pretty
should,
cool. It's subtle.
It is subtle.
I get
It's like
comments from everyone that sees that. It's like, ooh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Where'd you get that?
It looks good.
It does.
It's a good looking holster. It's got like a kind of a faded American flag. It's on a black Kydex.
Yeah.
It looks
Jason,
good. It's stylish.
I have to say, you've transcended from just the everyday, junky, crappy holster maker to an artist.
ABS.
Oh, well, thank you, Stan.
Weren't your first holsters made out of
The
ABS?
very, very first ones, because I couldn't find Kydex anywhere way back in the day, they were ABS.
They were still good.
They were
Holsters.
okay, but ABS does not hold up like Kydex does.
But I do have to say, they are more artistic now than anything.
Yeah, they are.
You're a craftsman and a gentleman.
Yeah.
And a culinary expert, a culinary whiz, if I may.
If,
But more about
Ricky
that later.
was here, he could talk about the one I made for him, but I'm letting him.
Are you saying you made a better one for him than
It's
you made
pretty
for me?
cool.
Better than mine?
I don't even remember yours. So.
Oh, but Ricky. Oh, I made one for Ricky.
He wanted something that he could use that had that bright green mag
Oh,
holder
yeah.
color.
Yeah.
And
He got
so-
attacked by a bear with his.
Yeah, it's.
What?
I,
We're dragging this one out. Sorry.
Yeah.
that's
He's got to bring it.
He got it
You'll
to
see
post to promote stuff on his social media. So if you follow Mag Holder on social media, you'll see it. I think it's really cool. I'm not posting it on my website until he has, because I don't want to steal his
See,
thunder.
Stan,
But-
if you look at my holster, it has the gold Jason signature.
Oh, mine does too.
I don't know if it does.
And mine it has a personal inscription,
Just
which
say,
I'm not going to divulge
to,
here.
to the Stan that I love.
Well, far more sentimental than that, and tasteful. But I'm not going to say what it was. I don't want to.
Fair enough.
I don't want to embarrass anyone.
Fair enough. Anyway,
Where were we?
concealmentsolutions.com.
That's awesome.
Lots of new stuff I'm working on. I've got projects coming. I don't want to talk about those much because I don't know how far out we are on some of them, but I'm excited.
You're making new stuff. Huh?
I'm always working on new stuff.
That's cool.
New patterns, lots of new patterns, Kydex patterns and colors and stuff like that. So if you're not following us on social media, you probably should. I am gearing up to do a giveaway next month.
Ooh.
On my social media platforms. I haven't figured out exactly the best way to do that yet because that end of the business is not what I enjoy.
What, giving away your product for free?
No, I don't mind that. It's the tech side with computers
I
and
hear what
social
you're putting
media
down.
and all that kind of stuff is the least.
Can't you just put it out in a newspaper now? Isn't
Yeah,
that just easier? Put it out in the want ads.
So pay attention to your classified ads in your local penny saver.
The giant nickel or the thrifty nickel.
Problem solved, man. No technology.
Doing a giveaway.
Yeah. Anyway, check us out at concealmentsolutions.com. If you don't see what you're looking for, whether it be a holster style, a gun model, an accessory, whatever, you know, a Kydex color or pattern, shoot me an email, shoot me a text. Chances are I can do. I used to hesitate when I would to say I can build you anything you want, but after the 50 BMG pistol holster, I'm like, I feel pretty confident that I can build just about anything.
Well, and you told me
now.
you're going to be available if there are any girls that have a hard time getting asked out to prom or anything like that. You could be an escort for people if you needed to.
Okay.
Isn't that what you told me?
Sure.
Where did that come from, Stan?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know it was weird.
I know what it is.
said
It was a combination of cookie and Dr. Pepper, full sugar.
And Stan projecting his own will.
No, we will talk about the delicious, dare I say, confectionery masterpiece that is the Mexican chocolate cookie.
Yeah.
At the end of this podcast.
That Jason made.
It's-
We'll talk about it.
I'm pretty proud of
You've got the recipe with you, don't you?
I didn't bring it with me.
But you could give the recipe?
I'm a little protective right now.
Okay.
I don't want it. It'll pop up in like one of these cookie stores and they'll make millions on it, and I won't get butt kiss.
There you go.
Anyway, where were we? Magholder.com. Go check them out. Use the code. Get in the van. I have candy. You'll save like 20-something%.
Yeah.
Concealment Solutions code is Show Me the Candy.
And for the air rifles, Utah air guns, it's
Air Candy.
air candy. Yes,
Right.
we didn't mention that.
And for
Okay.
black ice
Black Ice Coatings.
it's no candy.
Or slickery.
No candy for you.
No candy for you.
Or isn't it slickery?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you get anything for it. It's just fun for people to call and say it.
You'll get a chuckle. That's
Remember
what you'll
back
get.
in the day when people used to call me all the time and just say flash mob and hang up the phone?
You remember that?
I remember that distinctly. I
that
think
was
people
awesome.
should start calling up Lee and just say slickery and hang up the phone.
Hang up the phone.
Oh, don't do that to Lee.
Well, if we
We
had,
like Lee.
yeah, if we had any listeners, somebody
All
might do
5
that,
of you.
but we don't have any listeners.
I'm going to be disappointed if he doesn't get 5 calls next week.
Yeah.
No.
Which, by the way, welcome and thank you for listening,
Yes.
and for putting up with us. We do enjoy doing it. It's a labor of love,
It is a labor of love.
and hopefully we do some good in the world.
Maybe.
For all 4 listeners.
Yeah.
You guys need to invite your friends so we can have 5.
Yeah.
And if they tell 2 friends, And
they
so
tell
on.
2
I
friends.
think you guys are stretching a little, assuming that these guys have friends.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Okay. Anyway, all
All
right.
right, let's do a news story. I don't believe we have any feedback, listener feedback
Not today.
today.
Well, we did have one, and it was Harm telling us to stop talking about the dagger lower and the palmetto
the
deal.
deal, the AR stripped lower and the dagger complete lower for $100.
$100.
It's
Yeah,
killing me.
I know.
I'm like, I really want to order that, but I'm trying to be good.
I gotta get rid of
Trying to be
2
good,
more.
Stan.
I gotta get rid of 2 more guns.
It is a good deal.
Before end of year
Yeah.
to
Wow.
make my net 6.
I did get some feedback on, so when people place orders with me, there's a section for order notes, and oftentimes the listeners will stick a little note in, thanks for the podcast or whatever, or you guys suck, please stop. My ears are bleeding.
My
No.
ears are bleeding.
No.
But I did have, I'm sorry, I forgot who it was, but he made a comment. He said, "I love the podcast, and I really like the stuff you do on your stories that you did on Mormon history." And I went, "What stories did I do on Mormon history?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, John Browning was a Mormon. Talked about him and Porter Rockwell." So
Gotcha.
I did not know I was doing Mormon history, but I did mention that they were members of the LDS Church.
Awesome.
But they were fun stories.
Yeah.
Really interesting, guys. I've got another book that I've been reading for like 9 months. It's not very long, but I'm only partway through it. I just keep getting distracted.
You got to listen to him, man. Yeah, I can go through a book
Yeah.
a week easy. Listen.
Yeah,
To
but you're
because-
driving.
Yeah. I can't listen to stuff while I'm working.
That's true.
I can't hear it. And if I put earbuds in, then I can't hear people come in the store and they scare me.
Then Jason draws his gun.
That's right.
I have had people come in. I hear like a knock on the door. "Hello, I'm coming in." I'm like, "Where do you think you're going?" I guess I give off the impression I'm like some twitchy old guy. "Who's that? What are you doing? What are you sneaking up on me for?" I don't know. I haven't drawn on anybody that's come through my door
Yet.
yet. You
Gotcha.
could be the first.
You could be that special someone.
Well, you should have a doorbell then.
I have
to announce it.
So in the new shop, I didn't have this at the old shop.
Oh, so that was the old shop. That's even scarier.
I always meant to. Well, the new shop now, my workstation, I am looking out the window into the parking lot.
That's customer
90%
service.
of the time.
There you go.
And I'm 4 feet from the front door.
Gotcha.
And I've got cowbells on my door.
There you go.
Yeah.
Clank, 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 clank. So,
Smart.
I know.
He can be taught.
We were going to a news story. Was
Yes.
that right?
Why don't you read us a news story, Jason? Self-defense. In the
In
news.
the news. A man in his 80s was reportedly out walking his dog in the early morning hours of June 5th in East Memphis, Tennessee, when he spotted 3 men exit a vehicle and run toward his neighbor's home. The man asked the 3 what they were doing, and the suspects reportedly began shooting at him.
Wow.
"This is what we're doing!" Bam, 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 bam.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's kind of rude.
That escalated fast.
That
It did.
escalated really fast.
Yeah. He returned fire, striking at least one of them.
Wow.
Officers found the wounded man and another man at the scene when they arrived, one of whom admitted they were breaking into vehicles and robbing them. Police charged one suspect with aggravated assault and theft of property and will charge the other if he survives his wound.
Oh.
So he got a good shot on him. The status of the third suspect was not reported, but the investigation is ongoing. I thought that was a guy in his 80s.
So what do you think he was carrying? And how far away was it?
A garand.
Yeah.
Get off my neighbor's lawn.
Walking his dog with his grand.
Yeah.
I bet. Let's see.
Okay, I'm saying 1911. Just the vibe.
Yeah.
I'm saying a 38 revolver.
Okay.
And I was leaning toward a 357 Magnum.
Okay.
Either way, it doesn't matter if it was a 22. There's one guy that's regretting it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and they usually, anybody who gets hit is like, yeah, stop, help me, you don't hurt me anymore.
Yeah. Exactly.
So-
Anyway, just
Okay.
another case of somebody defending themselves that would not have been able to otherwise without a firearm in that situation.
So the best gun
Is the one you have
is the
on.
one you have on you when you're walking your dog.
Yep.
That garand always is the best
I
gun.
saw a YouTube short. A gentleman was talking to a group of people, and he said, and this is self-evident, but I hadn't thought about it. If you get into a shooting, it's unlimited class.
Yeah.
So if you're going to go to a shooting and you don't want to have a PCP
Right.
or a LCP,
LCP.
yeah,
PCP would be okay.
well, yeah, an LCP, yeah, a little crappy pistol. So I don't know, it kind of puts in perspective. If you're going to go to an open, unlimited class shoot, you're going to.
So this is
the
what
best
I
gun you can
have
possibly
done.
carry.
Because I have been guilty of carrying. I've carried an LCP,
I have to.
and the reason that I stopped, and this was way back when they were like brand new, and they were the
Because
new
they shoot so
hotness.
crappy?
Yeah. Well,
Or you shot it so crappy?
They're actually not bad guns for what they were meant for, and they were meant for very close.
Not aiming, just
Right.
pull it and fire.
Exactly. And I think they're great for that.
Yeah.
And they
I agree.
conceal really easy. But this is what I'd do. I would be out wherever, regular day, just out and about, and I'd have my gun on me, and I would put myself into a scenario, and I would think, how comfortable am I right now if that guy right there does whatever, and I have to engage with my gun? Am I feeling confident? And every time I did that when I had the LCP, I was like,
yeah.
I am not confident at all. And so that gun went away.
Interesting.
For me, it was I like to practice with whatever I carry.
Yeah.
And so I'd go out and I'd take that little LCP, and it was so hard to hit stuff with.
Yeah.
And it
at any distance, really.
At any distance, yeah. Like even so, the hostage target, right?
Yeah.
You would have no chance at hitting the hostage, right? Or no,
There's
no chance of hitting
the bad
the
guy,
hostage
little
taker?
Yeah, the hostage
The
taker.
swinger?
Hitting the hostage was hard enough.
Yeah.
And so I felt like if I struggle with that, then
Yeah.
it's just not a good gun for me to carry.
I felt like I shot it okay within, say, 5 yards.
Yeah.
I could get shots on a man-sized target pretty easy with it. They weren't always exactly where I wanted them, but that wasn't confidence-inspiring either.
Couldn't do the 40-yard shot and put 9 rounds into him like the gentleman in the food court.
No.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's just an exercise that you all can do at home with whatever you're carrying. And since then, back then it was like, man, you don't carry small guns and da-da-da-da-da. And I think we have come a long way since then. I carry a P365 most of the time, or the 365 XL.
Yeah.
And it's night and day difference, my confidence level. With
Those
them.
are very shootable guns,
They're
too.
very shootable
The first time I
guns.
picked it up when, I went to a range and they had it as a range gun. And
Yeah.
So I shot that, and I was surprised how well I shot with that small of a gun.
Yeah.
And so.
And the recoil management is very good. It's like there's voodoo or something when they build them.
Yeah, so that's on the short list for my daughter. She wants to carry, I think.
Yeah.
The dagger, Glock 19 or similar,
Yeah.
Smith & Wesson or a Glockish.
That
Yeah.
Glock 19 size, it's not as easy to carry, but man, it's
Combat
it's very,
Tupperware.
Yes. Yeah.
very comfortable shooting. Like I am confident and comfortable shooting.
But I've shot your SIGs, and I really like those as well. I would like her to go Glock compatible again,
Yeah.
just for the Mr. and Mrs. Smith thing.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing is if you push her towards something that's a little bit bigger, like a Glock 19 size.
She won't carry.
Exactly. If it's to a point where it's like, well, now at this point, she's not gonna carry because it's not convenient enough, then you haven't done any favors.
Yeah.
But you have the 43, you get a limited mag capacity, but it's still very viable concealed carry gun.
Well, my wife opted for this Smith & Wesson compact, the M&P compact.
Okay.
Tried to get a full size, but again, she didn't want to carry that. It just seemed too much to carry. It's a very viable gun, and the best thing, I'm going to take her out and let her shoot all of them before I buy her one. But,
Right.
That's probably the best thing to do. See what she's going to shoot and want to carry.
Right.
Because if you don't carry, it doesn't do any good. So,
Exactly. Exactly.
We got off. Well, that's related. That's gun related. Self-defense. Yeah.
Sure.
All right, let's jump into what we did with guns.
Okay.
We'll have to be quick, but that's okay. We don't have to be.
Well, I'll start.
Okay.
So I picked up a little Ruger American Predator. Got a scope mounted on it. I got the best.
Okay,
I got
so
the
which
best egg
scope?
one too from Gunny's. They went through
you got
their-
the second best because I had just bought the best one.
Well, but mine was on display, and I opted for that one after going through their vast.
Half the county's DNA on it.
That's right. So if it, never mind.
Stan was gonna say, so if I ever decide to go off the rail,
Yeah, it's like, well, half of Utah County is implicated in
so many fingerprints
latest
on this
shooting.
gun.
But Ron went through the vast supply, the vast stock of all the Ruger Americans, and he
The
got me
deep
the best.
caverns
The
of gunnies.
best dang one. And I put a little, what is it, Redfield MOA TAC MOA. It's just a cheap little $150 scope.
Did you get to? I know you were talking about going and sighting it in.
I did, yeah.
Okay, so you
I
did.
got it sighted in, and
What did you do? 100 yards?
yeah, 100 yards. But I've got the scaled man-sized target, so I think it's like 200 yards. Headshots all day long, boringly.
Yeah.
Repeatable. It just. The head's only
I'd
that
get
big.
rid of it. That's
You need more
Who
challenge.
wants that?
So the thing about that little
get a
Predator,
different gun.
if you put a bigger tactical scope on it, then your cheek's up pretty high. But this is mounted really low, and I actually get a pretty good cheek weld with it. Just a regular 1-inch
Yeah.
tube and everything like that, and it's light.
Nice.
I mean, just really light. It's such a cool little
I
gun.
know that's,
For the money, that hammer
and it
forged
takes
barrel.
the AR mags.
Yeah.
Well, you remember too, like when I brought those couple friends out there, and we were
shooting
just
500
hitting the
yards.
500-yard target, like easy,
Yeah.
just over and over. My Russian friend, he's like, everybody's a sniper.
He was shooting open sights. He had a Mosin and an AK. Or like,
Yeah.
here, try this.
Yeah.
It's got a glass on it.
But he was surprised at, like, first off, the clarity of the scope, like that Vortex
Yeah.
PST, Viper
Oh,
PST.
those are nice. Yeah, really nice.
It did a good job. But the ability for us to just do our holdover at 500 yards and hit it like every time.
Yeah,
is
each one of them.
it just-
Okay, hold this and put it on this side. And
we needed to
we
throw some
watch the
like
wind.
smaller targets hang up some smaller targets at the same distance to.
You hit the jug with it, a milk jug
Oh, yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
I might have to get one of those one of these days.
It's for an entry level or somebody who wants to start learning to shoot a little longer distance. You just can't go wrong.
Well, and if you like you and I, we work with the young men's group, the youth.
Right.
It's like the perfect gun. It's threaded barrel, so like of course mine, I throw a silencer on there, but and that kills any kind of concussion that there would be.
And or minor recoil.
Yes.
There's no recoil to
I
it
mean,
at all.
as is.
We're
it doesn't
talking
have-
223. This is a Ruger Predator,
In 223.
American Rifle Predator in 223.
Yeah.
Or is it 5.56?
Yeah,
It's 223.
Whatever.
Yeah, especially if you're reloading. But if
Yeah.
you're buying commercial ammo, you want to go with what's written on the barrel.
Yeah. So just it's a lightweight gun that can shoot mid-range distances with accuracy.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Well,
so
I-
the kids they feel like they are a sniper.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah.
When you drive that target out there to like 500 yards, they're like, "Wait, what? How are we gonna shoot that? We can't even barely see it."
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, "Oh, you guys will hit it, no problem." Right?
And they do.
And they do, and then
So,
yeah, it's,
I've got the little M77, but it's only I think it's a 1 in 12 twist, so I can't shoot the heavier bullets. But I picked up some 75 grains, 80 grain Hornadies, and I'm going to put those in it and see what
In the-
that'll do.
Predator. Yeah, because that's a 7 twist, right?
Yeah, 1 in 7.
Yep.
So it'll take the heavier bullets. It'll be fun. So I shot that. I shot a little 9mm. Had my cousin's nephew. He's really like a nephew, or my cousin's son. He's like a nephew.
Sister's daughter.
Once removed.
Right.
And just had him out there, and he picked up a 243 Black Friday.
Oh yeah.
Picked up a Vortex 1,000-yard. I think it's the Rays. I don't. Laser rangefinder.
Okay.
But it's just for 1,000 yards. I'm not sure which one it is. Diamondback maybe.
Probably a Diamondback.
And a scope for it and everything, and he's nailing it just right out of the box. It was just stupid.
What brand 243 was it?
Just a Savage Axis,
Okay.
Oh, nice.
and they're cheap. I
Those
mean,
are kind of like
yeah.
the Ruger American. It's
very
just
inexpensive, but
a lot of bang for the buck.
stupid accurate.
Yeah.
Just right out of the box. It's like,
We're kind of spoiled in these days with these
They've really come a long
plastic
way.
stock, like cheap,
Yeah.
inexpensive guns
No,
that
I
perform really well.
I see something that will make my little Predator even nicer. You brought that for me? Is that what you brought that
no, this was for gloat.
for? Oh, gloat. Okay.
Yeah, to
Anyways,
show you how mine's
so-
going to be even that much better than yours
Well, temporarily.
temporarily. Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I did. What did you do, Mike?
So
Oh, already you're going to gloat?
yeah, I'm going to gloat right away.
We're going straight to that.
Yes. So this is And I think Jason and I might have talked about it
Yeah.
the last podcast,
We
but
did.
since Dan was coming, I just
You
had
have to rub
bring
it in.
Yeah. So I'm holding a brand new MDT Gen 2 chassis. It's the LSS XL Gen 2.
See,
And
that's
Dan wants to
in
get
my
his
left
DNA
hand,
on it.
and then on my right hand, in my right hand,
for
I have
your bolt
a
action rifle. You have a
Magpul. Is it the D60 or D50? D60. Yeah. So it's a
60 round magazine for your bolt gun.
It snaps
for
right into that chassis. And
the shooter that's just too lazy to reload.
yeah,
Like, oh, dang, I'm out. Time to go home. Yeah, I have the LSS. Mine's the LSS, but it's shorter.
yeah.
This XL that's the perfect size.
Oh yeah, for that Predator.
And the time to buy this is on their Black Friday. Is this a blem? Or is
I think it's some kind of a blem.
okay. Because mine's a blem and I can't see
Yeah,
where there's
Just
a blem.
look at it.
Yeah. There's
Why would
like,
you pay full retail for that?
Yeah.
If it's a blem, I can't see where.
It's,
That is
they wrote it on
really-
the end of the box.
They scratched the box.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
So-
That seriously is one of the coolest things ever.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get one of those.
And so the big debate though, Stan, is that I did buy this for the other Ruger American, the one that I'm building in 20 practical. But
Because you don't have enough diversity.
yeah.
That's for diversity and inclusion, right? All the different cartridges.
I needed something a little bit
doesn't want to make
skinnier,
me feel bad.
thinner, and but for a varmint hunt this spring. So
Because your 22 Creedmoor won't be good enough.
well, that I plan on shooting so many things that the barrel's going to get hot.
Gotcha.
So I have-
So you need a backup.
Yes.
The quickest backup is another gun
Oh, it is.
in a different cartridge.
It's called a New York reload.
Dude, that is so awesome. Yeah, MDT, they make a great
Yeah.
chassis.
So, anyways, I was surprised too at how tight the magazines lock up
It's toit.
compared to the regular Ruger Predator or
Sure.
Ruger American
Yeah.
stock. So
It does not drop free, though. Of course, that could be the geometry.
It's because it's so light that it won't just fall out.
But that is...
Are you planning on doing tactical reload, Stan?
Yeah.
With your D60?
Yeah, you can't with your bolt gun. No, that's they got that right. I'm surprised it's taken them that long to come around to that.
Yeah. So
Frankly, but
Anyways.
they'll sell a bunch of them. That's probably on my list.
yeah.
The buttstocks too. They make really nice buttstocks. I've just gone with the regular extension tubes, but I'd like to get one of their fancy schmancy buttstocks.
Yeah.
If I were going to compete, and if people were to see me, if I'm just by myself, I don't care. But you know, if you're trying to impress, then you go with the really nice buttstock.
Yeah. So I also, I mentioned last podcast episode when you weren't here that I set up in the NOE casting room. Mm-hmm. And so
Do they have a couch in the casting room? Would it be the casting room couch?
No, there's a couch in the studio though if you need to take your old man nap. But anyways, I did a bunch of casting and then I did some powder coating. And
Let's see what you got there.
So this first one is like a really long, deep hollow point.
Dude,
Is like super deep.
that is
hollow
an
point.
understatement.
That's more like a Stein, isn't
Carl
it?
could take a bath in that thing.
Just put a little handle on it, and he's got a beverage holder.
Yeah.
What is that? 45 caliber?
Yes, it's
for
45.
4570.
Not 4570. It's a 452. So that one was designed. The original design was to fit it into the Cowboy Colt,
Okay.
those short
Yeah.
cases.
Yeah.
And then in the shortened case, then you can shoot that in. It'll fit in a cylinder of like a 45 Colt.
Okay.
So you can fit that long of a bullet in a 45 Colt cylinder.
Gotcha.
So what I want to do is I want to put that in a 45 Colt case and see if it'll fit. It probably won't, but we'll
This
see.
thing is almost as long as the end of my thumb. Like from the tip of my thumb to the knuckle.
But you have midget thumbs. Let's face it,
that's
you're as
not
tall
saying
as
much,
Carl.
Jason.
All right.
But yeah, so I was going to try and put that into a 45 Colt case and then shoot it in the 460. Magnum.
460 Magnum. Okay.
But the
Oh, yeah.
the other intended use case for this is in those useless revolvers that shoot 410s.
Oh, yeah. Judge.
Judge. So you can actually load these because they have such a long cylinder.
Mm-hmm.
You can load those in, and
Get a little more powder in it.
you can get something that's actually effective for self-defense or whatever.
Interesting.
That
So-
might be kind of cool. And is it the Circuit Judge it looks like a revolver, but it's got the long
Yeah.
barrel and a stock on it?
Yeah, those are the dumbest guns ever, though.
I think they're
Because
cool
your,
looking.
your,
Because
your
your hand
support
is-
hand gets peppered with powder every shot.
They have a shield on the side.
They do?
The ones I've seen,
Oh,
Well, maybe that.
maybe it was a Rossi that I was
still,
looking at that had that.
yeah.
I've
that's
actually
It's not going to help you if you shoot left, like some of us.
done a little bit of reading on it, and back in the day with black powder,
Uh-huh.
they could have multiple discharges if
Yeah.
something happened. So your hand's out there and you got 5 other bullets or cartridges that go off.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
But,
That's no good.
Obviously, with modern primers and stuff like that, it's probably not an issue. But
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so the second bullet that I was casting with is that one that we talked about is multiple episodes ago. It's also a 45 caliber. It is a 110 grain hollow base.
That's like the
Bullet.
opposite of the other one.
Yeah, it actually is. It's got like this really deep hollow base, and these are designed to.
But the whole thing is about
Is that the same thing?
Yeah.
These two?
a quarter of the length
Now,
of the other one. Okay,
for
third.
air guns?
Well, actually, you probably
I
could
bet you
shoot that in
could.
the air gun. Yeah, that actually would work
Well,
pretty
it
good.
looks like a pellet.
Yeah.
So,
So
what
that
is the
one-
intended use of that?
Cowboy action shooting
Oh,
type
cheap.
stuff.
Yeah.
So you're using very little lead, but
Less
you have
powder?
less powder, and it's got more bearing surface
Wow.
for
Yeah.
the weight.
Yeah, yeah.
And when that pressure builds up behind the bullet, then it goes ahead and expands the.
So
the-
you stole
the
from
bullet tube.
Minet, or whatever his name, Jacques Minet, the mini ball?
The mini ball. Yeah.
no kidding.
So,
That's really cool.
anyways, it's kind of a cool design.
All right.
And so this was what I was talking to you about, Jason, where you got to cast some of these up just to have like pop gun
Oh,
loads
yeah,
with the
yeah.
45 Colt.
Yeah. My
And
birdie.
yeah, just when you take the youth shooting and you hand them this 45 cal and they're like, oh,
This is
big."
going to have so much recoil.
And they pull the trigger and it's like shooting a 22, like
Yeah.
pop,
Cool.
But then it'll hit with authority with
Sure.
compared to a 22 because
Yeah.
you got like 110 grains.
But if you're
Right.
just hitting steel or paper,
Oh yeah, perfect. So then the other one is also a 45 caliber. It is like 45 cal day, and these ones are 200 grain. This is it's a semi-wad cutter, so it looks like a Crayola.
Yeah. Looks like the end of a crayon.
Yeah, and that one you can actually shoot that in a 45 Colt. You can shoot it in 45 ACP, or
how would it feed in an ACP?
they actually feed okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
Better than a
it
round
depends
nose?
on it depends on the gun, right?
It's not
Like,
a traditional wad cutter that's really
It's true.
it
big
does
and
square.
squared off. It's tapered.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you also
It's-
look at the very tip of the bullet, the meat pot.
Yeah.
There is a little radius on that,
Oh,
and that
okay.
helps to that little bit of rounding
Sure.
on it should help with like feeding and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Some
You haven't tried them yet, then?
no, I've shot some like this, and they shot fine in like 1911s, and I think on the really short ones, like I had some old Hornady semi-wad cutters in 45, and my SIG P220 choked on those, but the 1911 fed them fine. But I think this one might be a little bit longer of a nose, and so it'll, I don't know. It's like the main reason I got it is for lever gun duels with the dueling 45 Colt 16-inch Rossies. Just because you want something that is heavy enough to flip the plates, but not too heavy so that when it hits, it swings them back.
It rattles the whole.
And 200 grains is what I've come across or come to find as a reliable load or a bullet for that load to just swing the plates, have fun with it, but not have it hit too hard.
Yeah. Well, if you're new to the podcast, Mike knows his lead. So if he says that's a good one for that, I would go to the bank with that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So I I did spend hours and hours casting though. Al walked over and I had this big metal bowl of bullets.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "You really gonna shoot all those?" I said, "Yeah."
Yeah. Did you say, Al? You don't know me? Don't you know who I am?
Do you know who I am? Yeah. Anyways, so got the powder coating done last night, and,
Awesome.
and I've been sizing them. I did some 9mm, but those are boring, so I just brought the 45s today.
Yeah, I hear you. That's cool. Very cool.
So Jason,
Nice. So I went out to the range and with my dagger to once again try to sight it in.
oh, Jason pulled another Jason.
Well, you got it. When did you get a dagger? I didn't hear about it.
Black Friday.
Really?
Yeah, I got the full size.
So
The
Ooh, I'd
only
like to see
difference,
that, yeah.
the only difference,
it's not really a full size.
it holds 2 more rounds.
It's a 19X.
The barrel and the slide are the same. Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah. I was kind of bugged.
I thought the slide was longer.
it's not.
No, it's not.
Couldn't you just put a Gen 3 full-size slide on
Yeah, you could do that.
it? Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, back to the Jason pulled a Jason. Just so you're clear on what that means. Do you remember when we took him out to shoot and
I
we
had
were
my 6.5
6.5 Creedmoor and we just couldn't get it to be
Floppy
Yeah.
rings and stuff.
so
Yeah.
Didn't have the rings.
that is
tight.
now designated
That's
as
a Jason.
pulling a Jason.
Yeah.
I'm
So he
so
did it
glad
again.
it's not a stand. Oh.
So apparently there's different length screws for the red dots, and I put the longer ones in, and it was just I didn't know this until I was shooting, and I was like constantly adjusting it. It wasn't getting a whole lot better, and I'm like, did I not tighten these? And so I went out, grabbed a wrench. They were tight, and I feel it, and I'm like, oh. And the guy at the counter's like, so you probably needed to use the short screws. I'm like,
Because it was hitting the barrel or something.
it wasn't hitting the barrel.
No,
it just
it
bottomed
just
out.
it bottomed out. So this
Yeah.
It wasn't that loose, in my defense.
yeah.
But it was loose enough. It was loose enough when I.
There's not a degree of loose.
Yes, there
It's
is.
either loose or it's not.
Yeah, it's either
My point
tight enough to
is-
hold or it's
Holding the gun and everything, it wasn't like it was like clunk, 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 clunk,
Okay.
flopping
okay.
around.
In your defense, that's fair to say.
Anyway, I went back to the range with my Hollow Sun properly affixed to my slide.
And did it work?
It worked great.
Wow.
I did have some issues with the ammo I had loaded. I got
Yeah.
my first squib.
Jason needs a little bit more practice to,
Yeah,
On
I
the
was on a
reloading side.
machine I've never used before.
He's at my house.
I haven't loaded a whole lot in the past anyway, so there's a learning curve.
What did you learn about squibs?
That you have to get a rod and knock them out so you can keep shooting.
The point is, though, no. Did you felt
I
the difference?
did not,
You didn't?
No.
How did you know it was a squib?
because the next round wouldn't load.
So he got
Oh,
lucky.
so it was
I
just
got
a short
lucky.
squib.
yeah, like
Yeah.
a no powder.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as one who's done, I think, one squib in my life.
Whatever.
No, it's really important, especially if you're shooting
so-
rapid strings.
So
to
what I
feel the
did
difference.
is I pulled a stand.
Yes. Well, I'll own that just for the sake of everyone else to learn.
And
I've done my share. of
And it
squibs.
was a good learning experience for me too, because I was like, oh, okay, next time I'm at the reloader, there's more that I'm going to be paying attention to.
You really, and that's, I think, really the key. If you do something and you have any doubt, just start over.
Yeah.
Or pull it, throw it.
Right.
Just-
It's not worth going, it's probably okay.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and see, you can run into that in different places. Like case in point, my little rifle, my little Rossi
Uh-huh.
92. Those were factory. 38,
Really?
38s. Yeah. They
Wait,
were-
so that was a factory 38?
They were
that-
those were factories.
bolts to barrel,
They were
whatever?
Remington, just 38 specials with a 20-inch barrel, and
okay.
they all went through. Well, I mean, it made it
Were
right.
they were jacketed bullets, weren't
Jacketed,
they?
hollow
Yeah.
points.
So, just for the listeners out there, if you are shooting lower powered, like 38s in a 357, a long barrel, lead bullets go through barrels way easier than jacketed bullets. And so.
And it
it's-
made it down to a thin, an inch of the end. So it went 19 inches
It
down the
almost
barrel.
plopped out the end.
Almost. And I was shooting some rabbits, and if you shoot it and you hear a different report or feel anything different, you should stop right there.
Yeah.
And I put another one through it and cleared the barrel. It didn't Elmer Fudd it, but it did bulge that and destroyed all the. There was no accuracy. I couldn't hit a plate 30 yards away.
Wow.
It's like those 30 cals down the Mosin.
Oh yeah, he used 308 bullets in a.
Yeah,
in like
we
a
were
311.
experimenting with
Yeah.
those. They were
That was-
extreme bullets. Just
What, like
plated.
a 20-foot spread?
Yeah.
At like
God.
100
At
yards.
50 yards. Anyway, so if you feel something different, stop.
Yeah.
Just take a look down the barrel.
Fire shooting.
Looking properly, not down the muzzle.
Barrel.
Down the breech, pointing it away from you after you've safed it. With the dagger, with a handgun that's
We
as
are
easy.
Full of good advice on
It
this
is.
show.
If you feel a strange report or a different recoil,
Stop.
Stop. Open the gun. Look through the breech down to make sure it's not obstructed. Or have a rod and put a rod down through it too.
And that's one of the reasons why I keep those squib rods in my truck.
That's
Yeah.
interesting because that's what they're called, squib rods. And
Yep.
people have them because it happens.
You know what? I've actually used those squib rods more times to clear stuck brass cases.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I've
steel
had
cased
that.
ammo, and where it's fired fine, but then it just won't come out.
Interesting.
And then I helped some kids. I guess they're not kids; they're old enough to own guns, but they look like they
Kids
were
to us.
Yeah, 18 or something.
So you're
like
a kid
that.
too. So.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, there was one who had a round stuck as a live round. And, he was shooting over to the side. He comes walking over kind of timidly, and I thought he was going to complain about something we were doing as we were setting up. But he's like, hey, do you know how to, get this round? It's stuck. And what he had attempted to do, he was I don't know if it's a Mauser or one of the older surplus rifles that feed from below, right? Some rifles you can't just throw one in the top and close the action because it comes up and it locks in the bolt from the bottom.
So it's a controlled feed.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
So he couldn't open it again, or
so he had
open the bolt. That is.
so it was stuck. So he pushed it forward and jammed it in, but then he couldn't get the round out.
So somehow the extractor hadn't grabbed the.
It hadn't gone over.
I see.
And so, anyways, I was like, oh yeah, hang on a second. Grab my squib rod and then just slowly and lightly tap the round loose.
Okay.
And then,
Keeping your fingers away from the
yeah. Yeah.
Get a rod shoved through your head.
Best advice is take it to a competent gunsmith for all those. Sure, this is purely for educational purposes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But yeah, so
back to the Jason.
I also took my Browning Challenger 2 that I finally got put back together.
pistol.
Yeah, 22 pistol.
Predates the buck mark.
Wow.
It's very cool. Shot super smooth when it actually fired. I averaged 5 misfires per magazine.
Did you do your Google foo and find a new firing pin for it? I'll bet you anything that's what it is.
No, I sent pictures of the rounds that didn't go off. They're barely marked on the edge. And I sent those pictures to my good friend Gene Tessier, gunsmith extraordinaire.
Yes.
Said, hey, what's going on with
And what
this?
did Gene say?
He said, oh, you need a new firing pin, mainspring, and something else.
Get a buffer as well.
And I was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, when are you coming down next? Oh, I might be down next week. I said, okay, let me know if you're coming. And then it occurred to me, because I have a complete slide with the mainspring. I have a complete trigger assembly and a whole bunch of other parts for it. So tomorrow when I get to the shop, that backup slide and that mainspring are going to go in it, and I'm going to take it back to the range and see if that solves it. And if it doesn't, then if Gene comes down, I can be like, take this home with you.
Not a bad idea to buy an extractor, and on the buck mark there's a little. Well, it's the extractor pulls out and hits a pin and it flips it out.
Yeah.
I wore that one off. I wore out my buffer and the firing pin on a buck mark. Just because I used to shoot so much.
Right.
Of that.
yeah.
I mean, it fired. It was an absolute joy to shoot that thing. It was so smooth.
Yeah.
And
When it fired.
when it fired.
There you go.
And I tried 2 different types of ammo.
Yeah.
One ammo which was a little bit better than I had. I think Federal and the Aguila, the stuff
Oh,
from
yeah.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Which my 1022s don't even like that Aguila stuff, which they'll shoot anything. And so I kind of have the opinion that stuff is kind of the bottom of the barrel. And it actually did better in that pistol than the other. So I'm like, oh, all right, well, I'll just feed the rest of that to this gun when I get it up and running. But anyway, that's what I did. It was a good time, and I'm happy with both of them. But need to focus on my reloading a little more on the 9mm and give that Browning a little bit of attention to get it up to speed. But
Well done, Jason.
all in all, it was a good trip to the range.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
All right, let's move on to the Christmas
Our Christmas list.
lists.
Okay.
So these, we're going to go round robin, and we're just going to go around and take turns and provide a
Ideas?
list or ideas for the gun gal or gun guy of the
Gifts
family.
for the gun lover in your life. Okay.
All right. Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
So I would say any of the 3 Ps of reloading: powder, primers, and projectiles.
Okay.
So if you know,
If they're reloaders.
yes, if they're reloaders, then any of those things are, man, it's
I'd
valuable.
say year round,
And-
if you can buy them and stock up on them. Buy them when you see them.
Yeah, and if there's ever a sale on them, buy them.
And if you're buying this for somebody, you must really, really love them.
Yes. Okay.
I have a laser trainer.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that's kind of a generic term. There's a lot of different things out there. There's like the Mantis system, which is an apparatus that you attach to the gun, and it kind of records
Stephanie gave me one of
everything.
those. I have one.
There's
My
what-
son-in-law has appropriated it.
Nice. What I use is just a laser bullet, and I have electronic reactive targets that I use with them. But even without those, and the one I got was like $40. So they're not super expensive, and obviously you get it for whatever caliber you're shooting. But I've used it quite a bit even without the reactive targets. You just have like a regular paper target or scaled down torso target, and they work just fine for
And
that
then you
too.
can see where you hit on
Yeah,
the paper.
you can see where you hit it. They're great for dry fire practice.
The amazing thing about the Mantis is it has an app.
Yeah.
And it tells you how much you're moving and the whole thing. It's
Right.
the diagnostics on it.
Yeah.
Whether, how well it's calibrated, I'm not sure, but I've noticed an improvement in my shooting.
Yeah.
Just a half hour a day, or for not once a week,
Yeah.
And I brought my. What you're really focusing on is that trigger
Your
squeeze,
trigger squeeze, yeah.
and that's going to make make or break your accuracy for sure.
Yeah. But
Great.
there's a lot of different options as far as that goes. And you can spend, like I said, like $40 for a laser bullet to $200 or $300 for something like the Mantis system. And I think they have
Varying degrees of the Mantis system, yeah,
Right.
for sure.
But those are, especially when ammo is so expensive, somebody that wants to keep training and practicing, that's a great option.
Yeah, especially if it's cold and you can't get out. Great.
Yeah.
That too.
Stan, what you got?
So I'm going to go I kind of went to the long range precision as I started thinking about stuff. Book by Ryan Kleckner, somebody that's an experienced shooter or just wants to start shooting long range. It's a book about long range shooting.
A book stand. Why don't you just give them socks?
Underwear. Come on.
For someone with the
That's like giving them wool underwear.
for someone
No, just kidding.
with that thirsts for knowledge, Jason.
Oh, okay.
Give them knowledge.
Okay.
Ryan Kleckner, and I've read a couple of different books. The one by Ryan Kleckner, it's $22 off of Amazon.
You could even wrap it in wool underwear.
give them the double whammy. Not only did I give you a book, but I gave you underwear made out of wool.
If you give them a book, then you have to tell them they have to have it read by a certain time and do a report on it when it's done, when they're done with it.
Yeah.
Hey, I know that's crappy, but
No, it's not. No. We're
it's
just
not
giving you a
crap.
hard
it's
time.
it's one of the best books I've read on it, especially for the beginner to jump into it. I've given it to 2 or 3 people already. So.
Okay.
Did you get one, Taco? Because I didn't get one.
People that thirst for knowledge. Apparently, you two don't fall into that category.
All right. So for mine, this is I went from kind of like expensive because reloading components can be pretty expensive.
Yeah.
So we're diving to the cheap side.
Okay.
And this one is a inexpensive gift that actually saves you money. And it is a laser bore sighter.
Oh,
So those things, I think they cost about $25 or so.
I need to get one.
And
I've
they
wanted one for
Unnecessary.
items.
I'm gonna blow up your gun.
Yeah. So the reason I recommend this, and I've used mine, I almost have worn it out, like
Wow.
just from sticking it in, so many barrels.
We don't want to know where you're sticking it, Taco.
Yeah. Anyway,
How did you wear it out? What?
So the reason it's cool is because if you every time you buy a new optic or you start swapping optics,
We're talking optic swapping.
swapping, then if you just only mount that optic and then take it to the range,
to sight it.
I guarantee you will fire more rounds to sight that in because it might not even be on paper at like 20 yards.
Right.
So
So basically, it just gives you a jump start in getting something sighted in properly.
yes, it makes it faster, and because it's faster, you shoot less rounds to sight it in. It's saves
Stan,
you money.
give us your take on it.
Well, why don't you just give them wool socks?
I'd like some wool socks.
No, I've never used one. I guess I should
Really?
try it. No, I've actually bore-sighted stuff.
So you look through the barrel.
Yeah. I mean, you got it there. It's on the thing. You just pull out the bolt. That's pretty close. And it's been on paper. I haven't had any problem with
Yeah.
it. But that might be faster.
Okay, so let me
have
ask
read,
you.
though, and I have to get this out. There have been a number of people that have blown up their barrels, fudded them, because of the...
Because they left the bore
because they
sighter
left
in
it.
it? Oh,
So-
God.
Now, which one are you talking about? The one that goes in the breech
Yes.
or in the muzzle?
The muzzle.
Okay, yeah, I've read
So
about
here's the thing that I do is I bore sight them not at the range.
Yeah,
I bore
right.
sight it at home.
that. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then-
And that makes sense.
Yeah,
that
and then
would
you
do it
don't
there.
have a laser
Well,
Where's
at
a good
the range.
Where's a good place to get one?
So mine, it was a cheap one at Cabela's, and it was like, I don't know, 15 years ago or something. It was a long time ago.
yeah.
So I've been using that same one, and
But they hang out of the barrel several inches, don't they?
yeah, that's why I'm
I don't
wondering how
understand
they
how
like
you
blow
can-
up their gun.
Yeah.
It inserts into the barrel.
Yes,
Right, but it still sticks out.
I know,
Like,
but any obstruction can do that. I've never seen it.
I get that.
we understand that,
I
but
just
why
don't
would you
understand
not
why
see?
you wouldn't notice that sticking out the end of your barrel.
Dude, it happens. Look, Google foot.
I believe you.
Yeah.
I believe you.
And I guess that's just a guilty conscience because I'm afraid I would leave it in.
Well, you have blown up a gun already.
I have.
So I don't know.
Not blown up. I bulged it.
Bulged it.
Yeah.
All right, Jason.
Big difference.
Oh, we're back to me?
Yes.
I'm going to stick with kind of the training aspect. And this came to me because I have a customer that him and his buddies just did this. They shoot competitively, and they both shoot Canics. Canic has a airsoft gun that is the exact same specs as their 9mm. And so I think they each gave them to each other for Christmas.
Crisscross.
But so the holster that they compete with, they can put this airsoft gun in, and they're the type that they take the green gas, so the slide cycles every time you fire it. You're not gonna have the same recoil as you do with a 9mm, but you're still getting that same action, manipulation. All the controls are the same way. If there's a slide lock, it's on the gun. It works the same way. I have a P226 that is exactly like that, other than the external dimensions are a little bit bigger than the actual gun, so I would have to make a holster specifically for that airsoft gun.
Yeah, which for you is pretty easy.
Yeah.
What's green gas?
It is, I don't know if it's like a propane or something, but it has a silicone lubricant in it also. The magazine you fill with the gas and then you put your little 6mm BBs in it. The silicone lubricant keeps the seals from drying out, so the mag doesn't leak.
Interesting.
But so yeah, you buy the green gas and you fill them with that. But that's kind of a fun way. You can practice in your backyard, in your basement. You can set up drills, and you're using the same gear that you use all the time.
Awesome. Stan.
I'm going to stay with along the vein that I was talking about, and it might sound boring, and you probably have one laying around, but if they don't have a good backpack, I would get a backpack.
Now, when you say backpack, are you talking like I'm going out for a week-long trip backpack, or are you talking like a
backpacking
backpack?
Day pack?
I would say
like a
day
tactical backpack?
I would say take your bug out bag, like a 25-liter-ish,
Okay.
something like that. Not real big.
Yeah.
But something that you're going to have your shooting stuff with you. And this, again, it would be if you're going to compete or,
Okay.
you take your shooting bag with you. Have your possible something to drink, something to eat, something to shelter you with, another jacket, some shooting bags, and, gun cleaning stuff in it. Again, if you're going to go long range and you want to go to a competition, you wouldn't be carrying your, toolboxes of all your stuff. You'd have a bag with what you need. And ironically, coincidentally, it's talked about in the book.
Oh,
Interesting.
So
Okay.
a good backpack, sturdy, handy. You'd also be shooting off a lot. A lot of the positions are prone, and you shoot off your backpack.
Yeah.
It's also practical for hunting too.
absolutely, yeah.
So it would be a light day pack, something that you could hunt with, shoot with. But
Okay.
if they don't have a backpack, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so mine actually, it's related to Stan's actually.
Wow.
So mine is one of those double rifle savior cases.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
the ones that I've
The
showed
soft
you guys,
ones.
yeah, it's a soft
Yeah.
case, and these ones, what makes them cool is that the they don't do it with the really short ones, but the longer cases, I think it's like 36 inch and longer. They have backpack straps on them,
Yeah.
so you can
That you
load
can
up-
remove. They clip on.
Yes,
So if you don't want them there, you can take them off.
you can take them off, put them on. Those rifle cases are made. I mean, I now have like 4 or 5 of them,
Yeah.
and I've given away a couple. They are like.
Did
the
you get
coolest
one?
I didn't get one.
cases.
Did you get one?
I
Jason?
didn't get one
I didn't give it
either.
to you guys, but anyways, the features that I like are they have a padded lining,
Uh-huh.
so that all along the zipper, underneath the zipper, it's padded.
Yeah.
And so it actually protects the guns all the way around.
And the gun velcros in place. There's
And it
straps
has
that hold
straps
it
to
in place.
velcro them in place.
Yeah.
And there's all these extra pouches where you could store ammo, you could put your hearing protection, eye protection, spare mags, tools, and you could throw handguns in there,
Some Skittles.
Skittles, peanut M&Ms, and I think you could even put a Diet Dr. Pepper in there, Stan.
Ooh.
So,
That's great.
but that would be a really cool case because if you need to, it could be kind of like a take a long gun, get up and go. You could take a couple guns, couple handguns,
Yeah.
long guns and handguns, and go with that.
Bug out with them.
But from what I could tell, they're made well, and I
Where do you get
I
them?
really like them. I've only seen them on Amazon. That's where
I
buy 'em.
have one that I've
Spell-
had for years, but it's not that brand. But it's exactly the same. I just got it at local gun shop.
But you like the Saviors.
Yeah,
How do they
I
spell
really
it?
like it.
S-A-V?
Yeah, it's SAVIOR.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
That's
Al has one.
Al has one because he saw mine and was like,
You
oh.
didn't give one to Al either?
No,
So
he bought it.
exactly who
But-
did you give them to?
Me, myself, and I. No, I got one from my uncle.
Yeah, my other self.
Yeah. And a friend. But anyways, a different
Apparently, we're
friend.
not friends anymore
I
either,
guess
Stan.
not.
Okay, my next one. This is something that maybe somebody wouldn't get for themselves necessarily, but would be well received. And I'm going to say, and I don't know if they do
A
this.
1911?
Yes. No. Black ice coatings.
Oh, yeah.
I assume that you can buy a gift certificate, but I don't know. But
I'm sure Lee could make something work.
Right, right. But somebody might not feel like they want to spend the money to do something to have a bolt carrier group for their AR Teflon coated or have something dipped or something like that. But if it's gifted to them and they have it done, they're going to love it. It's going to be awesome.
And sometimes, like, if you have, like, say, a $50 gift card to a Black Ice, that's enough to put you over the edge. Like, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
It takes off, $50 off the total cost, and then, so.
And depending on what they're doing, there's stuff that they do that might cost $50.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not outrageously expensive, depending on what you want to do. Now, if you, and I had this conversation with him, not for myself, but if you wanted to have your AR done in candy cane stripes, that's not going to be cheap, because that's hours and hours of masking. But if you want your
unless there's like a dip that has those, right?
That's low hanging fruit, the bolt, because you could actually snag the bolt from them and take it over and get it
steal their bolt carrier group out of their AR
without them knowing,
or a bolt action rifle.
Bolt action rifle,
and he could take care of it. Same day probably.
Yeah. Let's promise that.
No, but that's low hanging. It's easy. Just grab the bolt carrier.
Right.
Teflon this for me. Done.
And that's one thing I was going to say with all these cheap, inexpensive, good shooting rifles.
Mm-hmm.
They usually have. There's a reason why they're cheap or inexpensive, and the bolts on a lot of them they look like they're about ready to rust. if that makes sense, like they could use a Teflon coating on those.
They could be refined a little bit.
Yeah, so I really want to do that when I get the action back on my 20 practical Ruger American, because I don't know, it just looked like you can't tell if it's like
the bolt
orange colored lube or if it's just
rust.
a little bit of oil and
on
a
the
little
bolts,
bit of
right?
rust. Yeah, on the bolts.
I live closer.
I was gonna say you live closer.
I know.
Yeah.
I could get it there.
Would you try and do the action though on the inside? That would be like.
I don't think you need to, especially if you do the bolt.
Yeah, you should do it. Not do that, and I'll do the action, and we'll see who's.
So you do the action, I'll do the bolt, and then.
No, I'll do both.
Oh,
the bolt and the action, inside the action.
Well, yours would be better then. I can't do that. I'm afraid I can't concede that to you.
All right.
What's next?
My next one. A good pair of binoculars.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And if you can swing it, if you got the bucks, a good spotting scope.
Neither one of those is cheap.
Now, I've found Costco had a deal on some...
you said good.
Diamondback Vortex.
Okay, that's what I heard.
I mean, and I've done a little bit of research on it. Bang for the buck, I think that's it.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
They're
not
better than good. No. Or Leica, but... For hunting and for long range, you don't necessarily need a real powerful set of binoculars for long range.
Did Costco have a combo?
They did.
How much was it?
It was $189.
Did you buy it?
Spotting scope and the...
No. Oh. Just the Diamondback binoculars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, spotting scope's going to be a little bit more. But
if you need a spotting scope, talk to our pawn shop buddy.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, he has a great story to go along with whatever he has in the shop.
Dang, now I gotta go to
a really good
shop.
deal on I think it might be a Razor.
Okay.
An older model.
Okay.
Anyway, one thing I've learned, I'm learning, and Taco will vouch for this, I buy cheap optics.
Yeah.
And if I had all of the cheap optics, the money for all my cheap optics, I could probably get a nice one.
Yeah.
Or a couple of nice ones, and switch them through. And you don't have to have them on every single gun if you don't have the money. But if you, nothing wrong with that. But
and it seems like we shoot in trends, right? Like you'll take one gun and shoot it a bunch, and then but there's always like. So if you did buy a nice optic, you could shoot it on one gun a bunch, and then when you want to do something else, you could move it. It doesn't take long to sight in.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a laser bore sighter.
Nice callback.
So.
But yeah, a good, if you want to save up some money, get them I would say Diamondback's probably about the bottom end.
Yeah.
Without getting crappy.
Yeah, because I've got some crappies.
I went, actually this year, I ended up buying the Athlon laser
Binoculars.
rangefinder.
Oh, laser rangefinder. Huh?
Binoculars.
Oh,
so it's
wow.
binoculars
Oh, cool.
with a laser.
With a
I'm
laser
impressed
rangefinder.
with Athlon.
And-
Athlon, Arkin.
Yeah.
There's some pretty good stuff. For
I know the
money.
Vortex Razor ones; those are really nice. They
They're really
are
expensive.
a little bit lighter weight than the ones I have, which but I got a
Twice
good
the
deal
money.
on mine, and I just felt like it was time to do it,
Mhm.
and it came in handy when my brother and I were doing a bunch of air gun shooting, and
Mhm.
you could range it real fast and know, and things that sometimes looked closer,
Mhm.
they're actually farther away, and so you just held for a distance, and then
Interesting.
you could hit.
And what model was that? The
I
Athlon?
can't remember.
But it's
It
just
was-
an Athlon
it was
laser
their,
combo.
Yeah, the Athlon one that has the laser
Mhm.
rangefinder. It's not cheap, but yeah.
Yeah. No, I would recommend 10 by 50s. I like 10.
Yeah.
Eights are pretty common if you want a wider field of view for hunting specifically. But
Yeah.
I think anybody would be happy to get a decent pair of binoculars.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up is the Magpul Armor's Wrench. I think that's for the guy who owns an AR
Okay.
and the guy who is always tinkering with ARs,
Yeah.
building, taking apart, putting them back together, building, assembling. I think that's a good tool just to have in your range bag in case like your castle nut comes loose or something. Just a good tool to have.
Yep, I agree. So, if you have shooters on your list, regardless of whether they're into them or not, if you gave them an air gun, they're gonna be happy.
Yeah.
We're moving up the scale a little bit,
Okay.
but you can pick stuff up. Even
Yeah.
at Utah Air Guns, you can pick up a nice air gun for a couple $100.
Yeah, so that the one that I would recommend on the entry level would be that Air Venturi Avenger.
Yeah,
That it's regulated. It has a magazine and it's got the little
and those are about
Side lever.
$400, I think. Is that right?
yeah, it's somewhere between 350 and 400.
Yeah.
And I bought one for a kid for his graduation present.
Oh,
and,
nice.
And took him on a squirrel hunt.
Did you get a graduation present?
I did.
You guys
not.
never graduated.
I did too. Barely, but I did. The one that there's two that I have that I really like that are on the lower end as far as the air guns go.
Talk about the Air Force one.
My Air Force Talon P
Talon P.
is a super fun gun. That's my son's favorite air gun to shoot because it's smaller. It's easier for him to
And it's
manipulate.
simple.
And it's a single shot. So some of them he struggles getting the magazines in and
Yeah.
out because they're the way they're set up is kind of goofy.
When I took a group shooting,
Yeah.
squirrel shooting,
Yeah.
there was one guy who he kind of jacked up my magazine fed air gun.
Yeah.
That guy needs a single shot.
Yeah.
He does not get a magazine fed air gun anymore.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, for keeping things simple, those single shots are actually really helpful. When you're
They
handing
are.
it to someone new,
Uh-huh.
you just explain how to load it
Yep.
and shoot, and
And it's simple.
Yeah.
Someone could screw one up, but they're really hard to screw up.
Yeah, a lot harder.
The
to
other
screw
one
up.
that I really like is my Benjamin Marauder pistol.
Mhm.
It comes with a stock. It's not regulated. It's a 22, but it's really kind of a low-powered 22. But if you're just plinking in the backyard with it, that thing is so much stinking fun.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. I've probably shot that one. I know I've shot that more than any of my other air guns, just because it's convenient. And
Yeah.
it's fun. And I put a super cheap, like, Burris ancient little 22 scope on it.
Mhm.
The thing is awesome. It's
Yeah.
so fun.
And all of these you can get at
Utah
Utah
Air
air
Guns.
guns, except that cheap scope that Jason mentioned.
No, that was given to me by somebody. They're like, somebody gave me this, and I don't ever gonna use it. Do
And
you
they could
want
get a
it?
discount on those guns at Utah Air Guns, right?
They can get free shipping
Free ship.
And
Oh, hey, you know how much
turret.
UPS charges for that
Stickers.
and Tourette stickers.
stuff? And turret stickers.
Okay, Stan, what do you got?
Yeah, I just have a shooting table.
Okay.
So my father-in-law has bad hips, and we've seen the big long tables that are out there. Caldwell makes one that's just 2 feet wide and has the edges trimmed off on it so that you can get underneath it for someone with less mobility than everyone else.
Yeah.
So someone that's mobility challenged.
Yeah.
So a decent shooting table, even though, like I said, you're going to be, you can throw the bag on the table, something like that. It's handy for sighting things in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're not that expensive, but if they don't have one, somebody shooting off their tailgate or off
Yeah.
something else, it's just really handy.
MTD makes something like that, don't they? And it folds
I
up
don't
real small.
Well, this is about this big, and
and this high?
approximately 2.5 feet by 3 feet with a 45-degree angle cut off on each side.
So it's good for your right or left-handed shooters.
Correctly. It's, as we say in the business, ambidextrous.
Okay.
All right. Okay. For these next couple, we're gonna do the rapid fire round.
That's all I got.
Stan's,
No,
Stan's
I-
done, so it's just me
Stan's
and
blown
you.
his wad.
Okay, so for me, bullet mold. If
Okay.
the person is
Oh, heck, I
a
can come
bullet
up
caster.
with... No, leave me in it. I can come up with something.
Okay, so bullet mold, and if they are a caster, bullet casters always love to get a new bullet mold because it means much more excitement in the future.
It's something else to play with.
Yeah, because then you get to develop a load, all that
And
stuff.
if you give them one for a caliber of gun that they don't own, then they get to buy a new gun.
Exactly. That's what I did once.
I know.
All right, Jason.
Okay, I'm going to go cheap. Ear protection, eye protection.
Okay.
A good set of muffs that are electronic that you can amplify your
Those
hearing.
are 50, $60. That's cheap, I guess.
I
Is
bought
that
some
cheap?
for $30.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
All right.
Or one of my absolute favorite things is the Maglula mag loaders.
Oh, yeah.
I love those things.
Interesting.
They're just
If you have weak hands like Jason,
Delicate.
get one of those.
They do look delicate.
You know
what?
Are you a hand
With as
model,
much as I
Jason?
work with my hands,
Dude, your hands
When-
are shiny.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
when I'm loading magazine after magazine, the tips of my fingers get sore.
Oh yeah, if you're doing any kind of competition, you need a Maglula.
Yeah, or if
Or
you're,
some kind
if
of
you're
loader.
in a training class,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Or if you're Jason.
and
Yes.
they're like $20, $30.
So this would be for 90% of Americans that have America's favorite rifle, magazines.
Yeah.
You can't
Yes.
have enough magazines. If you don't have 10 magazines for every rifle, something wrong with you.
One of my coworkers, for their Christmas presents for people in our team,
Giving out
he
magazines.
gave
I
magazines.
love it. That's a
They were
great.
they were the Glock 33 rounders.
Oh, wow.
nice.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's very thoughtful.
Whatever they shoot, just at least 10 rounds, 10 magazines for whatever they have. Anything. But AR mags specifically. You can't
Yeah.
have enough of those.
Okay, for me, spray paint. So
Yeah.
if you know a shooter who
Shooting
uses steel
steel.
targets, spray paint, man, I go through so much spray paint.
Yeah.
Because I
And it
repaint
doesn't
my
matter what
targets.
color
It
it
doesn't.
is.
Well,
Well,
it doesn't. But
Earth tones are not good.
earth tones are really bad, so don't get
contrast.
brown.
Yeah.
But yeah, blue, red, pink, those are really good colors.
Yeah.
And oranges and yellows, it seems like they don't coat as well. At least for me. So I've always struggled with those colors in paints, but blues and reds seem like they're really good. And pink is really good for long distance.
Yeah.
So you can see
Kind
it.
of that neon pink.
Yeah, that bright pink. You can see it from far away.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Last one I'm going to do, really inexpensive, and you can find it at concealmentsolutions.com. An A2 grip phone cradle. It's made out of a genuine AR-15 grip. It holds your phone on your desk. I use mine on my bench all day, every day.
They're cool.
It's
They're on
just-
the website. Look them up.
It's kind of one of those kitschy things that if you don't know what to get the gun guy that's got everything, give them one of those. They set it on their desk at work or whatever, and their phone sits in it, so they have access to it. I guess they can check their text messages while they're pretending to work.
all right. What's your final one?
Or they can hold the pistol grip.
They can. You can
Pretend like they're
practice your
Practice.
point your phone at people.
I'm going to say the cheapest thing on the out of all of them. I challenge you to get something cheaper.
Plastic comb.
What?
A plastic comb.
A plastic comb. Who uses combs?
You don't use that on your
I
beard?
don't use a comb.
Well,
This is pure, just
that-
raw me.
I'm starting to understand that.
Paper sight-in targets with the
Okay,
1-inch
yeah,
grid
that's-
actual targets.
I do have targets.
They're
on my
so
list.
they're so cheap. You can get them on Amazon for like you can actually get Post-its that have sticky stuff on the back of them.
Yeah.
Like a pad of 50 is like $10 or something like that.
I would even go one further. There are a lot of really weird and fun targets out there that maybe the average shooter isn't going to go buy. You know, the zombie targets that, you know, when you shoot them, the color changes and stuff like that. But if you give it to them,
maybe
they're
like
fun.
it. Yeah.
They're fun to shoot.
Okay.
I like the groundhog ones that the high vis, or what do they call
high
it?
vis.
Yeah.
Something like that.
They should make high vis, but with
C-
like bright red when you shoot them.
Yeah. Well, these turn
Then-
orange. Yeah.
Headshot.
The
ones that blow up when
the ones that with the groundhog, depending on where you hit, the color's different. So if you get a headshot, it might be orange or green. If you
Pink.
get a body shot,
red.
it's yellow. If you know, stuff
Okay.
like that. So they're fun, and especially if you're taking kids out shooting, they really like.
Yeah, I was thinking more the 1-inch grids for sighting in and
Yeah.
getting, being precise with all
No,
that stuff.
those are great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I use those a lot.
Okay, you ready for my final one?
Your final one, final
Okay,
answer.
so if you like the person, you get them ammo, a box of ammo. If you really like them, you get them a box of ammo in a caliber that they don't own yet.
Yeah,
It gives them
I
the
like it.
excuse.
What am I gonna do with this?
Oh. No returns on ammo. You just everybody knows that the gun stores do not take returns on ammo. So you got to tell the wife, "Hey, I can't return this. The only other thing I can do is
Just
buy a gun."
Just make sure it's a good caliber. If you don't like him, give him like 32 auto.
I was going to say, is there a bad caliber?
Yes,
I don't know. I don't know if there's a bad one.
there's calibers I wouldn't care to have guns for.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, like
Like a 32.
32 auto.
90% of what I shoot. Jason's like, don't what?
I know.
There might be some truth to
21 competitor. What is it? 21,
20 practical.
20 practical.
20 practical.
Who makes
Yeah.
up all these now?
that. No, we
names?
talked about that last time, and I'm thinking, that kind of makes sense to me.
Yeah. So
I doubt I'm going to get one, but
See,
I understand why someone would want
What's
one.
interesting is I'm maybe it's just age. New caliber. What's wrong with the old caliber?
It's definitely
But
age.
I'm actually trying to consolidate.
yeah, right. You just barely got a 6-arc and you got a
I know.
yeah.
22 Creedmoor.
22 Creedmoor.
That I haven't shot yet.
Yeah.
Nice barrel on it though.
Yeah,
really,
really
nice barrels.
nice.
Huh.
Okay.
Anyway,
Anyways,
Are we done?
we are done. So thanks for listening, subscribing, and sharing.
If you have any
Tell
ideas
your
for good
friends.
gifts that we didn't cover, give us some feedback. Let us know. We'd love to know
Yeah.
if there's something we haven't thought of or
We'll do a New Year's gift. idea.
future giving. Future giving. That's what we can do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
That's it. That's
gifts,
all.
Gifts for yourself.
Some,
I may be gifting myself a Boar cider.
it's called self-love.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gifting myself some brass.
There you go. All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yep.
Merry Christmas and hope everybody's safe.
Yeah.
Be safe and be nice to people.
Happy New Year.
Take somebody shooting.
When you bite into it, you're going to get the sensation of like when you're walking through fresh snow. It's kind of crunchy. And then,
Also, you've worked on the texture as
oh
well
yeah,
as the flavor.
then the chocolate is going to envelop your tongue like a blanket of comfort. And then you start to get the heat.
Okay.
Like you just drank the most delicious cup of hot chocolate ever.
No kidding. Without actual heat.
Oh, there's actual heat in
Oh,
it.
But I'm
Jeez.
not
It's
temperature
not-
heat, but
right.
But
Spice.
yeah, spicy heat.
So anyway, that's my Mexican hot chocolate.
All right, I will try it for you on air.